in South Africa. And the internet is going to be littered with all these happy first day back pictures, smiling kids in their school uniforms, you know, those big backpacks where they're like leaning over backwards because there's so many books in it. And while that might have been our experience when we were little kids, when we homeschool, it's not. And I think that one of the blessings that we've got is to do things differently and to do things gently in our first day back, first week back. And I thought we could maybe just share some of the things that we've done over the years, but also top tips for moms who maybe it's their first time homeschooling and they're apprehensive, you know, and how they can just ease into it gently. So I'm going to leave that to you to get us started with some ideas.
Well, I think one of the hard lessons that I've learned is that I was sometimes excited about starting our new school year, and I had all the curriculums and I had planned everything we were going to do, and we started with day one, and the kids just pushed back against my agenda for the day, and I ended up feeling frustrated and disappointed, and it was horrible. So this year, again, I was very enthusiastic to start our new year, because last year I had a horrible year because I was actually working full time. So I was all eager to get going again with my kids. And I realized I don't want to make that mistake. So we started gently. And this is what I would say. On the day that school starts, or in that week, we often used to have a not back to school picnic. We didn't do that this year with our homeschool support group, but it's something you can just celebrate in your home, especially if you're first time homeschoolers. Mark that day of not going back to school and make a cake or go on a picnic or do something special. But then what I would say for that first week, just read aloud with your kids. It's fun. You're getting them slowly into the routine. You're doing all the work because you're reading aloud, but you're doing educational things and you're just easing into it slowly. And I did that last week and it actually went very, very well. And then the next thing is to warn the kids. Next week, we're going to start with and then choose something more formal. So it could be maths, it could be your languages, and then warn them in advance. Next week, we're going to read aloud and we're going to do the other subject. And then slowly build each week, add a few more things. And in that time, then you can deal with attitudes, you can talk about how they're feeling, you can set up your routines in your home, as I said, and just ease into homeschooling slowly. I think that's about the best advice I can give. What would you add?
Well, I mean, we also did a not back to school day for years, and it was fabulous. And now that we finished homeschooling, I'm like, oh darn, I can't do that anymore. I'll take myself to the beach for a boogie board or something. But you know, it's one of the things is that we need to consistently, especially when we're new to homeschooling, is to make sure that we are checking our thinking, because we are so entrenched in the system of education that when we try and enforce that at home, even back to school, you know, it's, you, like you said, your kids end up chafing against you, and your expectations that were here, they haven't been met. And then you've got all of this disappointment in between the two that you've got to deal with. And that really doesn't make a happy mommy. And if mommy's not happy, the whole family's not happy. I think that's fantastic advice. We also eased in one of the things that we liked doing, which was just so arbitrary, but we really loved it when the kids had exercise books to write in. We spent our first day, besides for reading aloud, just covering the exercise books for the different subjects, and they would decorate the front pages, obviously with a whole lot of glitter and, you know, the glitter glue and all that sort of thing when they were little. And then when they were older, they would just put a picture on the front. And by the time that they were in high school, you know, the kind of the book covering thing kind of fell out. But that was one of the things that we enjoyed doing. And as we would cover the books, we would just talk about what the plans were for the year. And we had spoken about, as we were ordering curriculum or programs and all that sort of thing, what they wanted to do. So it was just like a refresher. This is what this book is for. It's for botany. And during the botany course, we're going to do some outings and you're going to do flower dissections. And, you know, because I'd flicked through the stuff, and we would just warm them up to the idea after a long holiday. And that was probably one of the good things for my kids, especially with their neurological wiring, that they were ready to receive the stuff and get going with it. Besides for that, lovely picnics, and then just spending the time together and starting off on the right foot with this. The way that we want to finish is the way we should begin.
Yeah, I think another tip just to add is, some people might view this way after this first month of the school year. And I think wherever you are, it's always good just to take a day off, have a fun day where you go out and you do something enjoyable, just to remind yourselves that you're not stuck in a school system. And those outings are learning experiences too. Go, like, what did we do this week? We went strawberry picking, or go to the beach, or, go and just have a picnic social with other homeschool families. Yeah. Just make life fun. Remember to have fun and don't just focus on the books. And then the other thing I just want to reiterate is what you already said, but I also found that even after many years of homeschooling, sometimes I have to remind my kids why we're doing certain things, especially when it comes to the work, a little bit of writing activities or something, because they kind of realize that we don't do a lot of things that are pointless, busy work as homeschoolers, because that's what you do in school, and we don't have to do that. But sometimes you do have to just practice things to learn a skill, especially writing and communication skills. And so this week I found myself having to say to the kids, you're doing one of these assignments because it's going to teach you XYZ skill. And once they understand it, then it's still work. They still might have an attitude, but at least they understand why they're doing what you're asking them to do. So I think that's the thing about homeschooling. It's about communication, and it's about relationship, and it's about training their character to do the hard things when they don't feel like doing it.
I hope that the folks that listen to this, really take it to heart. This is advice. All the advice that we give on our channel is from being in the trenches. We don't look at homeschooling with an ivory tower principle. We've been there, done that. There's 10 kids between us. So it's good advice that you've given, and something to heed.